Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is Explanation of Battle Through the Heavens episode number 167 based on novel. So let's start. Everyone's eyes in the stadium had gathered on that alluring figure an instant after Elder Tong Xian's voice sounded. She was the true pearl of the Jiyu clan. Xiaoyang Gigi, are you alright? However, Zuna completely ignored the gazes of everyone. Her pretty eyes were a little worried. She looked at Xiaoyang, who had returned to his seat, and softly asked, "I'm fine. I have exhausted myself is all. Everything will be all right once I rest a while." Xiaoyang smiled. He sensed that the gazes from the members of the Jiyu clan had changed when they looked at him. Clearly, him defeating Jiyu Yarrow had violently shocked them. Zuna's delicate hand gently wiped the trace of blood from the corner of Xiaoyang's mouth. She did not say anything, but there was a faint fury dancing within her pretty eyes. Although Xiaoyang had been victorious this time around, there was danger throughout the fight. If Xiaoyang had not formed the Annihilation Fire Lotus at the last moment, he would have, at the very least, been seriously injured by Jiyu Yarrow's silent destruction finger. The matter today is not over. Jiyu Yarrow, you better not land in my hands the next time around. Otherwise, I will definitely let you taste this feeling. Zuna clenched her hand. After which, she nodded in front of Xiaoyang's smiling face. Her body drifted, and she gently landed on the square like a dancing butterfly. Elder Tong Xian looked at the somewhat icy-cold face of Zun. He involuntarily laughed and said, You should also know that with your excellence and your status in the Jiyu clan, it is not surprising for such a thing to occur. Xiaoyang requires such a challenge. Otherwise, it is very difficult for him to be truly accepted by those clan members. I hope that this is the last time, Zuna replied in a cool voice. You can rest assured. He has already proven himself with his strength. No blind fellow will provoke him in the future. Elder Tong Xian nodded. After which, he beckoned with his hand. A 10-foot large star disk appeared in front of him. Zuna, it's your turn. Zuna slowly stepped forward. Her hand gently touched the star disk as she shut her pretty eyes. After Zuna shut her eyes, some light began to be emitted from her hand. Under this light, one star after another began to quietly appear on the star disk. All the eyes present focused on the star disk. The appearance of every star would cause the hearts of many people to violently pound. 1 star, 2 stars, 5 stars, 7 stars, 8 stars. The breath of everyone present had become rough and heavy when they saw the increasing number of stars on the star disk. Those with sharp senses were able to discover that even space itself had begun to fluctuate. There was an obscure powerful aura vaguely being emitted. Clearly, they were the experts from the Jiyu clan who had not revealed themselves. However, at this moment, they could not longer remain still and had begun to observe the square. Soon after the 8th star on the star disk appeared in front of a countless number of eyes, another powerful light gathered. Another star was slowly formed amid sounds from the inhalation of cool air. 9 star, a grade 9 bloodline. Almost all the members of the Jiyu clan inhaled a deep breath of cool air when they saw the 9 dazzling stars on the star disk. Even Jiyu Shan, Jiyu Chen, and the other elders of such strength, quietly tightened their hands, which were placed on their armrests. Their eyes did not blink as they stared at the star disk. An excitement was dancing within their eyes. A grade 9 bloodline meant that the Jiyu clan would have a clan member with the potential to advance to the Dosheng class. Although this was just about potential and sufficient time would be able to create a new Dosheng. Dosheng was an existence that represented the peak of this world. Even an ultimate faction like the Jiyu clan valued them because they competed in terms of the number of Doshengs that they possess. Whoever possessed more Doshengs would be the top faction. It is indeed a grade 9 bloodline. Zuna's bloodline strength is really incomparably strong. The silver-robed man on the large tree in the distance involuntarily smacked his mouth when he saw this. His face was shocked and full of envy. It is not over yet. If it is merely a grade 9 bloodline, those old fellows would not have gathered here. The green-clothed man spoke in a faint voice. The hearts of the silver-robed man and the burly man shook when they heard his words. They looked at each other and saw disbelief in the other party's eyes. While the words of the green-clothed man had sounded, the light that was being emitted by the 9th star on the star disk became brighter in front of the wildly joyous eyes of Elder Tong Xian. Peak of the 9th grade. Elder Tong Xian's eyes were staring at the extremely bright star. Even with his calm mental state, his heart still involuntarily pounded at this moment. Zuna's hand suddenly shook in front of a countless number of eyes. Her hand appeared to have become transparent at this moment. Blood flowed rapidly in her blood vessels. Bits of golden light followed these blood vessels and swiftly gathered in her hand that was touching the star disk. The golden light spot became denser. In the end, Zuna's arm appeared to have been made of yellow gold. The star disk suddenly trembled when this glow reached its peak. Numerous tiny crack lines began to appear. After which, they began to rapidly spread. What a frightening bloodline strength. Even the star disk is unable to endure it. Upon seeing these cracks, the ordinary GU clan members and even some elders began to reveal shocked expressions. Relying on one's bloodline strength to shatter the star disk was something that they had never even heard about. While the cracks spread, a little yellow-golden light vaguely appeared in the dark black region after the 9th star. With the appearance of this golden-yellow glow, all the voices of the entire stadium suddenly became quiet. Even those obscure auras lingering in the sky suddenly paused. A joy was vaguely spreading. The yellow-golden light had just appeared when it swiftly scattered. Within the blink of an eye, the glow had turned into the size of a thumb and began to wiggle. A moment later, a somewhat dim, completely golden-yellow star appeared in front of a countless number of eyes. Bang! The moment the 10th golden-yellow star appeared, the star disk emitted a bang and exploded. A golden-yellow light pillar shot toward the sky from Zun'Er's hands. Wave after wave of a powerful pressure spread from that light pillar. Under this pressure, most of the people present were shocked to discover that the Do Chi within their bodies had ceased circulating. A fear and respect had begun to spread from deep within their souls. This was a fear and respect of a lower being to a superior being. 10-star, divine bloodline. Everyone from the GU clan was stunned as they stared at the golden-yellow light pillar that shot toward the sky. They possessed the same bloodline as Zun'Er. That kind of pressure was even stronger to them. Many members of the GU clan were unable to endure this intense pressure. They emitted a puff sound as they knelt on the ground. A wild heat filled their faces. Xiao Yang's group watched over half of the members from the GU clan kneel in an instant. Among them was Lin Xiu and the rest. Some elders and those of GU Yaro's strength did not kneel. However, they still bowed. Those eyes of theirs did not dare to look directly at the golden-yellow figure. What an outstanding girl, divine bloodline. The GU clan is really blessed, Mang Tian Kai softly sighed. His voice could not hide his envy. Being a member of the Lei clan, he naturally clearly understood just how important this so-called divine bloodline was to an ancient clan. Haha, you should be aware of how frightening Zun'Er is now, right? The green-clothed man on the towering tree narrowed his eyes and looked at the golden light in the distance. He smiled and spoke to the two stunned people behind him. Divine grade. The silver-robed man and the burly man exchanged gazes with one another. They felt as if their mouths were full of bitterness. Although they had made a guess in their hearts earlier, they still ended up feeling disbelief when this kind of guess became reality. After all, a divine bloodline had not appeared within the GU clan for the last 1,000 years. The golden light pillar shot toward the sky. A moment later, it slowly disappeared before transforming into a ray of golden light that once again entered Zun'Er's body. At this moment, she slowly opened her pretty eyes. She did not feel the least bit surprised at the surrounding silence. Instead, her calm eyes stared at the heated face of Elder Tongxian in front of her. It is indeed the divine bloodline. Elder Tongxian excitedly muttered as Zun'Er looked at him. Only then did he gradually calm down. He smiled at her. After which, his face became solemn as he respectfully extended both of his hands. Subsequently, they were gently clenched in the empty space in front of him. A flickering rainbow-colored dragon pen appeared in his hand when he did. The faces of all the members of the GU clan revealed a respectful expression the moment this rainbow dragon pen appeared. Mang Tian Kai sighed when he saw the flickering rainbow-colored dragon pen. He muttered, "Rainbow Heavenly God Pen, this is something that the GU clan has not used in the last 1,000 years. Have they finally taken it out now?" Elder Tongxian's expression was respectful as he held the rainbow dragon pen in his hand. His heart was filled with excitement. This rainbow heavenly god pen had not been used by the GU clan for 1,000 years, but it was going to be unsealed. Zun'Er. Elder Tongxian held the rainbow heavenly god pen in his hand as he looked at Zun'Er. Zun'Er nodded when she saw this, and then she shut her eyes. Elder Tongxian's expression became grave when he saw Zun'Er nodding. A monstrous aura surged from his body in all directions. After which, the hand holding the rainbow heavenly god pen tightened. His arm danced and numerous mysterious lines began to rapidly form under his palm. Following the dancing of the rainbow heavenly god pen, numerous rainbow-colored symbols began to appear on Zun'Er's smooth forehead with every stroke. This rainbow was an extremely brilliant color. It was many times stronger compared to the rainbow color on the forehead of the green-clothed man. The divine grade and the 9th grade was the difference of 1 grade. However, there was still an extremely great difference between the two. The expression of Elder Tongxian became more grave with every stroke of the Rainbow Clan tattoo. The hand he was holding the heavenly god pen in involuntarily trembled. The Do Chi within his body swiftly flowed like floodwater. What a frightening heavenly god pen. No wonder no one has the qualification to touch it in 1,000 years. From just this degree of Do Chi exhaustion, anyone without the strength of a Do Sheng would be sucked dry. Elder Tongxian's expression sank as he sensed the rapidly diminishing Do Chi in his body. He quickly focused his mind and controlled the perfect orbit of the pen. The rainbow heavenly god pen danced above a spot half an inch or so in front of Sun Numerous rainbow lines continued to appear on her forehead. This drawing of the clan tattoo in front of a countless number of gazes continued for nearly 10 minutes before it was finished. After the final stroke landed, a cold sweat involuntarily surfaced on Elder Tong Xian's face despite his great strength. Although he was exhausted, his eyes were still filled with his excitement. It's done. Sun Er's tightly shut eyes were slowly opened after hearing the voice beside her ear. The moment her eyes were opened, the rainbow clan tattoo on her forehead suddenly emitted a powerful rainbow glow. Under this rainbow light, quite a number of powerful clan members from the Jiyu clan were unable to endure the pressure that came from deep within their souls. A plop sounded as they knelt for Sun with wild and heated faces. Ha ha, the rainbow clan tattoo has finally appeared in our Jiyu clan after 1,000 years. An elderly laugh vaguely sounded from the distant sky when the rainbow light erupted. The laugh was extremely faint and was fleeting. If someone's ears weren't sharp, the voice would be impossible to detect. It is unexpected that even this person has been disturbed. Elder Tong Xian was slightly startled when he heard this unusually old voice. He immediately bowed to a certain part of the sky. The rainbow light only lasted for a moment before it completely withdrew into the rainbow clan tattoo on Sun smooth forehead. The clan tattoo shook before gradually disappearing. This clan tattoo would not appear on the surface. It would only appear when its owner intentionally summoned it. Let's go, there is nothing to see. In time to come, Sun will definitely surpass everyone within the clan. The green-clothed man on the towering tree in the distance smiled when the rainbow light scattered. He merely smiled and was about to turn around when his eyes suddenly turned to a seat. The eyes of the somewhat pale-looking Xiao Yang were thrown to his position. Ha ha, have we been discovered? What sharp senses. The green-clothed man smiled when he saw Xiao Yang's eyes. After which, his toes pressed on the top of the tree before his body drifted and withdrew. Within a couple of flashes, he had disappeared. The silver-robed man and the burly man followed close behind. There are indeed as many experts as there are clouds in this Jiyu clan. The Do Di bloodline is indeed worthy of stirring the envy of others. Xiao Yang frowned as he watched the mysterious green-clothed man leave. This person should be a member of the Jiyu clan. However, the pressure that he left for Xiao Yang was even stronger than Jiyu Yao. Let's leave too. There is nothing interesting in the subsequent ceremony. Xiao Yang stood from his seat, cupped his hands, and bid Mang Tiankai goodbye. After which, he smiled at Sun in the square. He led the little fairy doctors group. They turned and headed back using the route they had used to come. This little fellow has likely suffered a serious injury. Although Elder Tong Xian has healed his external wounds, that silent destruction finger of Jiyu Yarrow is quite an overbearing Tian-class Do skill. Mang Tiankai did not stop Xiao Yang as he watched the group leave. He naturally understood that it was a narrow victory despite Xiao Yang having emerged victorious this time around. Since the ceremony is over, I shall take my leave first. Sun was also worried about Xiao Yang's injuries when she saw Xiao Yang's group leave. She did not wish to continue remaining in this place. After uttering these words to Elder Tong Xian, she ignored his response, and her body chased after Xiao Yang's group in front of many gazes with a flash. Elder Tong Xian helplessly shook his head when he saw Sun leave as she pleased. He bitterly laughed. Looks like the divine bloodline is not enough. The Xiao clan is still better. They don't need to do anything, yet they have been able to obtain a daughter-in-law with a divine bloodline. A figure that was covered in a black robe at a corner of the square looked at Sun distant back with flickering eyes. There was a faint chilly glint within them. It is unexpected that the Jiyu clan has produced a divine bloodline. Looks like she will be a great enemy of my Hun clan in the future, and she might even disrupt the plan of my Hun clan. Looks like I need to quietly find an opportunity to finish this person off. After experiencing Sun bomb-like ceremony, the subsequent ceremonies had difficulty stirring the excitement of others. Hence, Elder Tong Xian had withdrawn, leaving the remaining people to the other elders. At this moment, Xiao Yang's group had returned to the bamboo house within the mountain forest. The quiet atmosphere caused everyone to sigh in relief after such a busy day. A blood-red sun hung on the edge of the sky in the evening, unleashing its last heat on the land. Creak. A tightly shut bamboo door was gently pushed open. The little fairy doctor gently walked in. After which, she looked at Xiao Yang on the bed. His eyes were currently open, so she smiled and asked, "How are you?" "There is nothing serious. I have only exhausted myself too much. The silent destruction force that had been transmitted into my body has been removed with Sun help." Xiao Yang smiled and nodded. At this moment, his expression was already much better after a couple of hours of rest. "I should not be so miserable. However, it is becoming more difficult to leap between the levels." Xiao Yang sighed as he spoke. Following the increase in his strength, the ability of his fighting across the levels had become more limited. After all, every star after the 5th star of the Do Zun class was an enormous gap. If it was an ordinary Do Zun, one would not be able to defeat an opponent of a higher level. Moreover, the opponent that Xiao Yang had faced this time around was a ferocious individual who possessed a Tian-class Qi method and Tian-class Do skills. Xiao Yang's ability to emerge victorious in such a fight was quite a surprising thing. The little fairy doctor smiled and nodded. She said, "This is only natural. If you were at the same level as Jiyu Yarrow, it is likely that he would not even have the ability to retaliate." Xiao Yang was non-committal in the face of Ticha little fairy doctor's words. He asked, "Where is Zun? She has gone to the Jiyu clan. I heard her say that this heavenly tomb will open in 2 days, the little fairy doctor spoke. Heavenly tomb? Xiao Yang's heart pounded when he heard this name. Part of the reason why he had come to the Jiyu realm this time around was to head to the tomb left behind by his ancestor Xiao Xian, and from what Hu Xian had said, this tomb was in the heavenly tomb. In other words, he needed to enter the heavenly tomb before he could enter Xiao Xian's tomb. Xiao Yang involuntarily frowned when he thought of this. The relationship between him and the Jiyu clan was not in a good place. Hence, he was a little worried that the Jiyu clan would intervene and stop him from entering. The main hall of the Jiyu clan was well lit. Numerous elderly figures were seated around a wide meeting table. The atmosphere was solemn and stern. Next, we will discuss the matter of the opening of the heavenly tomb. Everyone knows that there are a total of 16 people who can enter the heavenly tomb. Each of the 8 ancient clans possess 2 spots, however, no one from the Ling clan has come this time around. Hence, 2 spots have become vacant. According to the rules, our Jiyu clan can use these 2 spots. In other words, our Jiyu clan will have 4 spots. Elder Tong Xian's eyes overlooked the entire hall from a spot on the meeting table as he spoke. However, there should be 6 people that our Jiyu clan has arranged to enter the heavenly tomb. In other words, we are lacking 2 spots. An elder softly spoke. Aren't the spots for the Xiao clan always used by our Jiyu clan? There are just enough if we add them. Jiyu Chen exchanged looks with a couple of elders beside him before opening his mouth to speak. However, the Xiao clan has Xiao Yang. He has come this time around. If this is the case, an elder hesitated. The Xiao clan has already declined to such an extent. It is no longer ranked among the ancient clans. There is nothing wrong in excluding it. I think that Xiao Yang should be able to understand this. That white-haired elder Jiyu Shan spoke in a calm voice. Some of the elders involuntarily nodded when they heard his words. However, Elder Tong Xian frowned. Bang! The tightly shut door emitted a bang. It had been shook open while Elder Tong Xian was frowning. The guards at the door were just about to furiously cry out when they suddenly knelt down under a rainbow glow. Elder Jiyu Shan. Ever since the Xiao clan left the Central Plains, the Jiyu clan has been occupying their spots. Currently, someone from the Xiao clan has finally come, yet you refuse to return this spot. Aren't you going a little overboard? The rainbow glow lit up the large hall, spreading to all the elders within. At the same time, a cool voice suddenly sounded within this large hall. The expressions of quite a number of elders changed when the rainbow light covered the hall. Their bodies involuntarily trembled. If they did not possess a great strength, the pressure from the bloodline would likely cause them to kneel down like those guards. Zun. Some of the elders bitterly laughed. Who else in the Jiyu clan other than Zun possessed such a bloodline pressure? A beautiful figure slowly walked into the large hall under the eyes of many. The rainbow light spreading from her brows. Zun, hide the clan tattoo first. Elder Tong Zun helplessly sighed. He glanced at Elder Jiyu Shan, whose expression was a little ugly, as he spoke. After hearing Elder Tong Xian's words, the rainbow light that was being emitted from between her brows gradually weakened. She walked to the side of the meeting table. Some fury was leaping within her pretty eyes. She knew that these fellows would definitely not accept Xiao Yang. Even though he had displayed an extremely great strength, these people still could not help but quietly obstruct him. Zun, you are a member of our Jiyu clan. Think more for the Jiyu clan when you act. Jiyu Shan's face sunk as he tried to reprimand her. Elder Jiyu Shan, although I am a member of the Jiyu clan, there are some things that you should not go overboard with. Our Jiyu clan has already gained a great advantage on the matter of spots available. Moreover, the spots for the Xiao clan have always been handed to our Jiyu clan since they left the Central Plains. Putting it this way, our Jiyu clan has benefited from their favor. Now that Xiao Yang has arrived here after much difficulty, not only do you not plan on returning the spots to him, you even thought about excluding him. Anyone with a conscience would not do such a thing, right? Zun glared at Jiyu Shan. Her words had become extremely stern, causing his face to sink. He found it difficult to form a retort. Zun, this place is where the elders discuss various issues. You barging in here has already broken the rules. Jiyu Chen frowned as he came up with a reply. Elder Jiyu Chen, have you forgotten about the authority of the Rainbow Clan tattoo? Zun coldly demanded. Jiyu Chen was startled when he heard this. He immediately felt a little bitter. According to the rules of the Jiyu clan, any clan member who possessed the Rainbow Clan tattoo would be able to surpass most of the elders in terms of position. Entering this meeting room was not against any rules. Alright, stop arguing. Elder Tong Xian knit his brows as he finally opened his mouth and ordered them. The large hall had become much quieter after hearing his voice. Numerous eyes gathered on Elder Tong Xian. It is indeed a little overboard to exclude Xiao Yang. Add him to the name list for this heavenly tomb. Our Jiyu clan has taken advantage of the Xiao clan's spots for many years. It is now time to return them. Moreover, only one Xiao Yang from the Xiao clan has come. Even if we allow him to enter the heavenly tomb, our Jiyu clan still has 5 spots. This is already quite good. Everyone should not think too much about it. Elder Tong Xian crossed his fingers as his calm voice resounded around the large hall. Jiyu Shan and some elders frowned when they heard this. However, they could only nod their heads. They understood that Zun was in possession of a divine bloodline. Forget about her father being the current clan head. Just this bloodline and the rainbow tattoo caused the weight of her words to become many times heavier. Even experienced elders like them could not reprimand her. Since there are no objections, we will decide to do it like this. The heavenly tomb will open in 2 days. Zun ask Xiao Yang to prepare for it. Elder Tong Xian spoke. Elders, sorry to have disturbed you. Zun slightly nodded. She bowed her body in a courteous manner to all the elders seated. After which, she turned around and walked out of the large hall in front of the respectful eyes of the surrounding guards. Quite a number of elders within the hall looked at each other after seeing Zun back disappear. They did not expect Zun who usually did not bother with such matters, to act so forcefully when it came to something related to Xiao Yang. Elder Tong Xian, there is still the tomb of Xiao Xian within the heavenly tomb. Our people have failed to enter that place even now. Jiyu Shan was quiet for a moment after Zun left before involuntarily speaking. Elder Tong Xian could not resist frowning when he heard these words. All of you should not have any thoughts toward the tomb of Xiao Xian. Given his divine abilities back then, if he did not wish others to enter his tomb, then even the clan head would not have a 50% chance of success if he tried to enter. Therefore, you need not waste your efforts. An elderly voice suddenly materialized within the large hall while Elder Tong Xian was frowning. Jiyu Shan wisely shut his mouth when he heard this voice. Since even this person had spoken, he could only stop thinking about the tomb of Xiao Xian. Alright, let's dismiss. The Jiyu clan has recently invited quite a number of experts. All of you should pay more attention. Do not allow them to disturb the descendant citizens of the Jiyu clan. Understood. Many elders respectfully replied when they heard these words. After which, they slowly stood up and left the hall one after the other. Elder Tong Xian sat in his seat. He watched this large hall rapidly empty before sighing. How does the clan leader and the rest view Xiao Yang? The space in a chair beside the meeting table became distorted after Elder Tong Xian's words sounded. A grey-robed old man slowly appeared. He faintly answered, he is going to make it big. Oh! Elder Tong Xian raised his brows. It was definitely not easy to get this old fellow with ridiculously high expectations to utter these words. What about the Tushi ancient god's jade? Based on our guesses, it is most likely with Xiao Yang. Things will be somewhat troublesome should this thing end up being taken by the Han clan. Elder Tong Xian hesitated for a moment before asking. The grey-robed figure's shriveled hand rubbed the armrest of the chair. A moment later, he finally said, there is no need to be worried. It will be resolved. So it's like this, huh? Elder Tong Xian nodded and muttered to himself. A faint cloud lingered over a lush green mountain, giving it the appearance of paradise. Xiao Yang used gentle and slow footsteps to walk to the top of the mountain. The injuries and exhaustion within his body had healed. After his physical body had undergone the tempering of Zi Yang's dragon phoenix strength, it had become extremely strong. Its ability to recover did not even need mentioning. Xiao Yang allowed the flame mantra to circulate as he slowly walked through the mountain forest. He absorbed the pure energy and let it invade every part of his body. However, Xiao Yang's feet paused while he was immersed in such a state. His shut eyes were swiftly opened. A solemn expression flashed onto his face as he looked at the edge of the mountain road in front of him. A figure was standing with his hands behind his back at that spot. Surprise surged into Xiao Yang's eyes when he looked at that back. From his senses, this person did not even possess the slightest aura. It was as though this person, even the space where he was located, did not exist. However, it was possible for one to ascertain that this was a person when one looked with one's naked eye. These conflicting senses were exceptionally unusual. This junior Xiao Yang is merely passing by. Elder, please forgive me if I have disturbed you. Xiao Yang cupped his hands to this figure and spoke in an exceptionally polite voice. After which, he shifted his feet and slowly pulled back. The feeling this person gave him was too strange, causing him to have no choice but to be a little cautious. There is no need to leave. I have been waiting for you here. Xiao Yang had just stepped back when a faint laugh buzzed beside his ear. His eyes became dazzled. The next time he focused his mind, he discovered that he was already at the top of the mountain. Clouds lingered around him, giving it an atmosphere of paradise. However, this caused a chill to rise within Xiao Yang's heart. Just what kind of tactic was this? He had met a countless number of experts over the years. However, this was the first time that he had met someone who could shift his own body without him sensing the changes. Xiao Yang swallowed a mouthful of saliva. He looked straight ahead where a figure was standing with his hands behind him a short distance away. That person did not possess a powerful pressure, but Xiao Yang dared not slight this person even a little. He was certain that the person in front of him was definitely the most terrifying person he had met since his birth. Since Xiao Yang was here, he would not remain horrified. He quickly controlled his emotions. The other party's strength was too frightening. He did not even possess the slightest ability to resist. Hence, he was not worried the other party would do anything to him. By possessing such a strength, all the other party needed to do was to randomly wave a hand and that would seriously injure him. It was pointless to play all these useless tricks. Ha, it is unexpected that the Xiao clan has actually been able to produce such an outstanding young man after its bloodline has been wasted. This has caused me to have no choice but to believe that Xiao Shen's actions were with reason. Xiao Yang's heart felt slightly cold. From this short sentence, he understood that the mysterious person in front of him had been in contact with his ancestor. In other words, the other party was an old demon who had lived an unknown number of years. May I know Elder's name? Xiao Yang respectfully asked. That figure smiled faintly when he heard Xiao Yang's question. After which, he slowly turned around. This person appeared to be around 40 years old or so. He looked just like an ordinary middle-aged man. His clothes were ordinary and made of linen. The smile that was appeared on his face caused one to feel somewhat peaceful. This ordinary appearance was somewhat different from what Xiao Yang had imagined in his heart. Before he could recover from this difference, the middle-aged man's next sentence caused him to feel stunned. I am Zun'er's father. Zun'er's father. Xiao Yang was speechless. He had heard Zun'er mention that her father was the Jiyu clan head and a true peak existence within this world. Now, this peak existence on the Dochi continent had appeared in front of him with an extremely ordinary appearance. That middle-aged man involuntarily laughed when he saw Xiao Yang's lack of expression. He asked, "Are you very surprised?" Xiao Yang gradually recovered from his shock when he heard this question. He secretly observed the middle-aged man in front of him and dryly laughed. He found that he did not know what to say. In front of this frightening person with overwhelming strength, it was as though any thought that lingered within his heart would be discovered by the other party. Haha, I am called Jiyu Yuan. Speaking of which, we met when you were born. However, no one knew my identity. The middle-aged man faintly laughed. Xiao Yang was stunned again. He had not expected that he had met this overwhelmingly powerful clan head when he had arrived in this world. May I know what important matter has caused this Jiyu clan to wait for this junior here? Xiao Yang hesitated a moment before respectfully asking. It is naturally because of the matter between you and Zun'er. Jiyu Yuan smiled and replied. Xiao Yang's heart became slightly stern when he heard this. He involuntarily frowned and said, Does clan head Jiyu Yuan not wish for Zun'er to be together with me? This is not my intention. As long as Zun'er is willing, I, as her father, will not force her. Moreover, with her current divine bloodline, even I, this clan head of the Jiyu clan, will not be able to force her to do anything. Jiyu Yuan smiled as he continued, If it is you, you are passable despite not being as strong as the peak of the younger generation from the Jiyu clan. Xiao Yang was startled when he heard these words. A joy immediately surged within his eyes. Most of the members from the Jiyu clan in the Jiyu realm were full of enmity toward him. However, this Jiyu Yuan in front of him was somewhat beyond his expectations. Thank you very much clan head Jiyu Yuan. Xiao Yang cupped his hands together and joyously spoke. You should not be in such a hurry to rejoice. Although I will not stop the both of you, some elders of the Jiyu clan and some even older existences still feel some grudges in regard to this relationship. After all, Zun'er has the divine bloodline that has not appeared within the Jiyu clan for 1,000 years. They will naturally be unwilling for such a bloodline to become imperfect because of some other thing. Therefore, you will be faced with some hindrances and it will not be easy. From the perspective of my position as the clan head of the Jiyu clan, I am unable to provide you much help. After all, the clan head must put the clan ahead, Jiyu Yuan faintly explained. Xiao Yang was quiet as he nodded. Of course, other than the position of clan head, I am also Zun'er's father. I will naturally like something as long as it is something she likes. Jiyu Yuan faintly smiled and said, I am not too dissatisfied with you. Although the bloodline in your body has been wasted, you are able to rely on your own hard work to achieve something that is not inferior to those who possess a bloodline. This is really admirable. Honestly speaking, if I had known of the results today, I would not have sent Zun'er to the Xiao clan back then, It is unexpected that not only did I fail to obtain that thing, I also ended up losing a daughter. This trade is really a great loss. Xiao Yang could only smile awkwardly in the face of such words. He did not dare reply. I will not intervene in the matter between the two of you. However, I need you to promise me some things. Xiao Yang's heart pounded when he heard these words. He carefully asked, may I know what they are? Relax, it is not something that you will find difficult to achieve. I just hope that when you are together with Zuna in the future, you will allow her to maintain an untouched body before she reaches the Doshan class. Jiyu Yuan hesitated for a moment as he spoke. Xiao Yang's face immediately became embarrassed when he heard this. He had not imagined that the thing that Jiyu Yuan wanted him to promise was such a ridiculous request. Did he appear like a person who had uncontrolled sexual desires? Ha, a young person will inevitably have moments when one is impulsive. Moreover, the both of you aren't frequently together. Cough, Jiyu Yuan involuntarily and dryly coughed. He said, the main thing is that the bloodline within Zuna's body is unstable, and you are also not a member of the Jiyu clan. If you randomly perform intercourse, it would damage the bloodline within Zuna's body. In the event that such a thing occurs, it is likely that those old fellows from the clan will act forcefully. You should be aware of the consequences. Xiao Yang bitterly smiled and nodded. Did this great person appear in front of him in order to talk to him about this somewhat ridiculous matter? This is something that I am only reminding you of in passing. The greatest reason for me to reveal myself is because of the Tu Shi ancient god's jade on you. Jiyu Yuan paused. After which, he looked at Xiao Yang and slowly spoke. Xiao Yang's expression involuntarily changed when he heard the words Tu Shi ancient god's jade. He was naturally aware that this Tu Shi ancient god's jade was a precious object within the Xiao clan. The reason that the Hall of Souls had captured his father was because of this mysterious ancient jade piece. However, hardly anyone knew that the ancient jade was with him. The Tu Shi ancient god was the last Do Di on the Do Chi continent. After him, not a single person has managed to reach the level of a Do Di, which exists only in the legends even now. Jiyu Yuan spoke on his own without being concerned about the change in Xiao Yang's expression. It is rumored that when the Tu Shi ancient god died, he left behind a Do Di remains. Within it contains the secrets of breaking through the Do Shun class. No one has discovered the Do Di remains even now. A big battle erupted among the 8 ancient clans and some super factions of the Central Plains many years ago. In the end, they only obtained a key to the remains, the Tu Shi ancient god's jade in your hands. This thing is ordinarily divided into 3 pieces, but after experiencing a string of miserable battles, it was divided into 8. Coincidentally, they were obtained by the 8 ancient clans back then. The piece in your hand is one of the 8. Xiao Yang quietly nodded. He was vaguely aware of some of these matters. However, he had always thought that the Tu Shi ancient god's jade had only been divided into 3 pieces, but there was actually 8 of them. The reason why the Hall of Souls captured your father is because of the Xiao clan's Tu Shi ancient god's jade. Jiyu Yuan frowned slightly when he mentioned the Hall of Souls. The Hun clan has always been the most strange and mysterious clan among the 8 ancient clans. Back then, the Jiyu clan and the Xiao clan had joined hands and engaged in a big battle with them. Both parties ended up with their own losses, but we failed to cause the Hun clan too much damage. After which, Xiao Xian became the clan head of the Xiao clan. Originally, we had the opportunity to seriously damage the Hun clan. However, Xiao Xian was eventually surrounded and killed by many experts from the Hun clan. The Xiao clan was hence brought to its knees. Having lost the support of the Xiao clan, the Jiyu clan was not able to declare war against the Hun clan by itself because everyone knew that both clans would have suffered great losses if we ended up fighting, which would provide the other factions with an opportunity. Hence, things have continued until now. From some of the actions of the Hun clan during these years, they are likely ready to cause trouble again. Hence, this ancient god jade will definitely be their target. If they are allowed to obtain all the ancient god jade, the strength of the Hun clan will definitely soar and break the equilibrium. The expression of Jiyu Yuan was a little grave as he studied Xiao Yang. He said, you should know just how important the Tu Shi ancient god jade is, right? Xiao Yang slightly nodded. However, an image of an underground magma world suddenly flashed across his heart. That place was the magma world under the Jianan Academy. There was something at the end of the magma that had caused the Tu Shi ancient god jade in his hand to react. Could it be that the end of the magma world is the hidden location of the Do Di remains? Xiao Yang was contemplating the thought. He got a premonition that the thing at the end of the magma world was definitely extremely important. What is clan head Jiyu Yuan's intentions? Xiao Yang recovered and slowly asked. Jiyu Yuan started at Xiao Yang. A moment later, he shook his head and helplessly said, according to the intention of those old fellows from within the clan, they wish for you to hand the ancient jade in your hands to the Jiyu clan for safekeeping, but I think that you will be unwilling to hand it over. Xiao Yang gently nodded and replied, there is the trace of a spiritual imprint of my father within the ancient jade. I need to rely on this to ascertain whether he is alive. Therefore, I will definitely need to keep this ancient jade. The Tushi ancient god jade was the most precious thing of the Xiao clan. If it really came to that time in the future, Xiao Yang would not hesitate even a little if he had to use it to exchange for Xiao Zhon. This was a chip. With it in his hands, the Hall of Souls would not kill his father. However, if he handed the ancient jade to the Jiyu clan, the Han clan might really end up doing some heartless and crazy things upon knowing that it was hopeless. Jiyu Yuan seemed to have already expected this answer. Hence, he did not reveal a different expression. All he did was helplessly nod as he said, I had already guessed this reply. I'm sorry, clan head Jiyu Yuan. Xiao Yang apologized. This suggestion was not made by me to begin with. However, the other old fellows will not easily allow you to bring such an important thing in front of the Han clan. Jiyu Yuan shook his head. He waved his hand and said, forget it, we will discuss this in the future. The heavenly tomb will open in another 2 days. We will discuss the matter of the ancient jade after you have come out of the heavenly tomb. Xiao Yang nodded. He was just about to reply when the rushing sound of wind suddenly appeared at the foot of the mountain. His eyes immediately followed the sound and looked over, only to see a figure swiftly rushing over. That figure was Zun Er. It is really the case of a girl to end up being married off when she matures. Seeing how frantic she is worried that I will do something to you. Jiyu Yuan helplessly smiled when he saw Zun Er swiftly rushing over. After which, he said more to Xiao Yang, let's end our conversation today. Remember the thing that you have promised me. Do not cross the line. Additionally, protect the ancient jade properly. After Jiyu Yuan's final word sounded, his body slowly disappeared. Xiao Yang involuntarily sighed in relief when he saw Jiyu Yuan's figure disappear. Subsequently, he turned his head and glanced at the extremely beautiful figure rushing over. Her face was tense, and her pretty eyes were filled with worry. He involuntarily smiled. This girl. This video will end here.